Hey, welcome back to A-Aron Reacts, and we're back for another Angelina Jordan reaction at the age of 10, and another feeling good. I think this is the 6th one I'm doing, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's 7, I don't know. It'll be on the video. Okay, yeah, so this is July 7th, 2016. Yeah, let's get to it.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel.
I feel like she is using a wider vibrato here on this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's more pronounced because we're hearing less backing, or maybe I'm just noticing and never did before. Sometimes that happens, but that's what I'm getting the feeling of.
You know how I feel.
I think so.
Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
I think she sustained feeling before going to good longer here. She held on to it because I think she has the freedom to do so. Right? Smaller groups are always easier to work with.
Feeling good. In the sea, you know how I feel. River.
So I think it's a slightly slower tempo too, so maybe that's why she held a little bit longer.
You know how I feel. River running free. You know how I feel. Blossom on the tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
So I was actually looking around while she's singing. Of course, she sounds fantastic. I mean, really just amazing, as always. And the Barry player up there, the second on, to her left, there's 2 Barry players, and you could barely see the first one there, the woman, because she's behind that stand, but you can see the second person. And you could just see he's just completely, totally, and utterly in awestruck, like seeing a celebrity for the first time. Can't move, and I'm actually a little surprised that he's the only one that I see like that in the group. But just as we get going, look at him just being completely and just mesmerized. And in all honesty, I'm sure that would be me if I were in that band.
You know how I feel. Blossom on the tree. You know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good.
That was a really sloppy transition from the group. That should have been a hard stop there, actually, with a nice little break. It just kind of carried over.
It's a new life for me,
right here. Yeah, the cymbal sustained. I think there might have been a little bit of bass vibrato. They didn't nail it.
And I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
Dragonfly out in the sun. You know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies over having fun. You know what I mean. Sleep in peace one day, darling. That's what I mean. And the school
mean, what do you even comment about her at this point? Like, really, it's, you know, it's just utter perfection. You got a terrible sounding, you know, audio, like acoustics, you know, for the live camera, you know, recording, you know, what we're hearing. So it doesn't sound that good. The band isn't the tightest group. You know, they're making it work, but, you know, certainly not impressive by any stretch in terms of the band. And of course, she sounds remarkable. Like, yeah, that first attack there, was very sloppy, actually. They were not at all together with that first one. If you listen, it kind of like almost sounded like it was intentionally like a slide in with different instruments. Yeah, that is terrible. I'm sorry. Key change? Gotta love that director. He's grooving. Look, he gives a little, you know, thumbs up kind of pointing at her type of thing, but you can see him with his shoulders kind of grooving with that. That is awesome. That may be one of my favorite, you know, belt sections here. That just felt extra special to me. And then, it's my least favorite, follow-up. It felt like it was muffled and it might have just been the acoustics, but, you know, it sounded like she kind of, I don't know if she just wasn't really singing fully or they turned down her mic or she just decided to bring the volume down. But volume was a big factor, but it also almost felt like, and we know that's not true. That's not, she doesn't ever get timid or anything, but what the effect of what I get is immediately after the belt, it almost felt like she lost confidence, which makes zero sense, of course, but that's kind of the feeling I get, right? But I just want to listen to that again because that was just beautiful. And usually she goes, you know, she dances up the chord. And then, yeah, so I think she added one extra note here before I think she did, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe that's why I like it. And again, look at the Barry player. the good afterwards, something's not right with her there. I don't know if she got choked up, maybe dry throat. I don't think that was the equipment. It just wasn't one of her best moments. But this is just fantastic. And I love that she hits the half step before it really strongly. She slides up to the half step before and then resolves. But yeah, immediately after this, listen, it doesn't sound right here. Yeah, I think something wasn't right there for her. I don't know what it was. She just didn't have it. Maybe she belted a little too strong and she needed a second, right? Like that certainly can happen. I'm not quite sure. But certainly the belt makes up for it. As I've always said, when I see her perfect imperfections, it's always good to see a chink in the armor. Honestly, it's good to see that she is human. I always somewhat revel in that because she's so far advanced that, it just doesn't even make sense. And when you see these little tiny things, it just reminds us that she's so incredibly great, but she's had to work for it, that it didn't come natural, that she's human like all of us. And naturally gifted, yes, but she's put in the work. She's put in the time. She's put in the effort to become that great person.
Kongsberg så har vi veldig takknemlig for at Angelina vil komme og synge med oss. Fantastisk. Nå får hele bandet til å reise seg også. Vil du være med å hoppe med oss? Vi pleier å hoppe, tell til 3, så hopper vi. 1, 2, 3,
Taking a picture, I'm assuming?
For oss, og ekstra applaus til Angelina igjen.
Mange takk til Angelina Jordan og til Kongsberg Storband. Tusen takk skal du ha. Dere som har hørt Billie Holiday kanskje enige i at de trodde faktisk at her var det en gjennomståelse. Så det flott. Da skal vi gjøre en liten omrigging igjen.
Okay, I wanted to keep playing it for a minute because there's obviously, a full concert or at least several songs, and the link to it actually took me directly to this song. So, fantastic. Okay, great. I'm so glad I got to see this one as well. Another just brilliant performance for her. I might want to listen to kind of those belts next to each other. This was certainly one of my favorites of those she did from that perspective. Definitely not vibing this band. But you know what? It's so important for them and for the group, and sometimes it's what's available. It's also important for Angelina. And that's something that, I certainly don't talk about a lot. And I don't know if others do, but, I think those are the moments that, continue to shape, her as a human being that cares genuinely about people. And, it's in those moments that you can look down upon them. She knows what she's capable of. She knows what greatness is. But she doesn't. She stays humble and builds character in those moments. And what does it mean for that group? And what does it mean for the audience, right? And also, what does it mean for all the people that don't know the difference? Who cares, right? From that perspective, they're enjoying it. They're getting to experience her. And this event may not have happened without that band. Likely wouldn't, right? And so there's nothing wrong with the fact that this band wasn't as good as the previous one I had done in the indoor concert. It was enjoyable, and you know what? It's a tough acoustic arrangement to do, and it's live recording as well, right? So it wasn't like the band was terrible. The biggest challenge is that you've got a very small stage and no ability to kind of master that. The drums were overpowered. First and foremost, that was the biggest thing. But in general, it's tough to do that in that arrangement and that scenario. And I don't think they were trying to be world class or anything to that effect. So, it was fine. It was a little bit sloppy at points, but her performance shone through. At the beginning, I had mentioned, and I don't know if it's entirely true, but it felt like she held the note a little bit longer. That belt felt more special to me. I think she hit when she arpeggiates the notes of the chord, I think she hit another note that I think typically there's 5 notes going up, if I'm not mistaken, or 6. She added one more before she starts doing the runs down. And just the way that she did it just was special. And then she followed it up by showing, her human side as well. You saw Sarah at the end grabbing her, like, don't leave yet. But in any case, thank you for sharing. This was another great one to do and to, just appreciate how special this girl is at age 10. Because again, that Barry Flayer's face and just absolute admiration. You heard the crowd when she was belting. It says it all because, again, every one of those musicians will be able to say that they played with her right when she was only 10. And she was as good then as any of them were, right? Just amazing and brilliant. Wonderful. I think I'll leave this one here. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video if you haven't yet. And consider joining us over at a-aronreacts.com/angels, and we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.